My name is Malcolm, and welcome to Manly Ego. I want to talk about a story that happened a couple of years ago, and it's a story that amuses me as well. It still amuses me to this day, and it was when I really felt the ego um, literally come out like it was a little child or a teenager, like a teenager wanting to prove itself. So to get to the point, real quick, I'm at an amusement arcade with my boys. I say amusement arcade, it's a local one in my town. You could play on the machines, put a pound in, get about 10 seconds of pleasure, and then you have to go and spend another pound on the next machine. So every time I'm there with my boys, I will play on the punch bag machine. You put the money in, you press a button, the punch ball comes down, and you hit it straight away. For me, it's an ego thing. I want to see how hard I can punch. I want to feel tough. I want to feel big and strong. So I've maybe hit the bag about 2 or 3 times, and they've been quite impressive punches, may I say myself. But this is where it gets interesting because a couple of, I would say they were teenagers, maybe 16, 17. They come over and started using the punch bag machine next to the one I was using. So you got them like lined up. They're using the next one. So by now I've already had 3 punches maybe on the machine, and at my age, maybe it's an excuse, but at my age, the more I load up with these power punches, the more it takes out on me. So my total or punch power was already declining by the time they had started using it. So I'm still hitting it, and maybe I'm on the fourth or the fifth, and I can see one of the boys looking over at my score. So this is the one that's not playing the punch machine. But the other boy that is using the punch machine is hitting the punch bag really well for his age. He's big built, looks powerful. He's hitting the bag well for his age. Now, none of his punches hit my total. They weren't too close to my best punch, which was like the first or the second one I did. But this is the thing. I have them on my phone. I recorded, well, my son recorded them punches on my phone, and he's got to a stage where he's hitting the punch ball, the punch bag at my uh, current level as I was doing by the fourth and fifth and sixth punch. Um, and then it gets to a stage where he's punching it harder than me because my arm just feels like it's going now. And I can see his friend looking over, and I can see his friend look at his friend who's punching the bag and whispers something to the, you know, something to the extent of, "You punched it harder than he did." And I know that was said because I could tell by the reaction, and I could then see the other guy look over. And this is where the ego jumped in. And it was so petty. I'm glad I didn't do it, but I was so tempted to. I was that tempted to show them the recordings on my phone of when I was hitting the bag harder before they arrived. Now, bearing in mind, these are young teenagers. Well, I say young teenagers, they're teenagers 15, 16, maybe 17. I don't know them. They've never met me. I've never met them. And my ego was screaming inside for me to show them the punches that I'd done earlier, just to let them know that I can hit it harder than them, and they need to show me respect or stay in their place. I know I was so tempted to do it. Now, if I did do it, I wouldn't have gone over in an aggressive way and done it. It'd have been in a casual sort of fun way, but that would have still been so creepy and weird. And I'm so glad I managed to control myself not to do that. Um, and it would have been something to the effect of, "Oh, let me just show you what I was doing or how hard I was hitting it earlier on." But I didn't. I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't. And they're probably glad I didn't. But why did that happen? Why did that them feelings of vulnerability um, pop up in me right then? I believe very simply for the reason of the ego needed to show that I was stronger, older and stronger, and they needed to recognize that. I couldn't allow them to see that they were punching the bag stronger than me or hitting the bag better than I was. The ego was also saying to me, what if they go and tell other people? What will other people think? Will they walk around town and look at me as, oh, that's the guy, so and so can punch harder? But I had to just let it go. I had to grow up and let it go. And again, I completely understand what the ego's doing in this situation, but was it important? Is it important? No. Now, me 5 or 10 years ago, I might have cracked and showed them the video of me punching the machine earlier, but I didn't. I amused myself at the situation. I did think about it a lot during the day, but only from the fact of I loved the self awareness of realizing what was going on and why it was going on and how it still goes on at this stage of my life. The ego is an amazing thing.